fish are jumping, and the cotton is high. Oh, well, your daddy's rich, and your mama's good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. Oh, so hush, little baby, and don't you cry. Oh, so hush, little baby, don't you cry.
Summertime home.
Okay, I think your mics are on now.
Oh, we'll check them out. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Summertime, I love it. That was Blaine Moody, in case you guys have never met this fellow. He's here with Ann Cornley. We call her Annie, because we love her. Yeah, amen to that. Nice. So we can get started.
Julie, yours has an on and off switch on it.
Yeah,
But you get to control it. I have a mute button over here.
Are you unmuted, Julie? Unmuted? Are you unmuted?
This is yours. I'm not going to keep that receipt.
Welcome back.
We're going to say good morning right now. Good morning. Was that a good morning from Matt? Yeah. I'm not sure I heard it. I didn't hear. What was that?
Good morning.
Hallelujah. So glad to see you all. Welcome to our second ever Imaginary K-Love radio experience. Since our 60th anniversary Woodland Chapel celebration a few years back, some of you were here then, we had a great time in our sanctuary. The K-Love radio broadcasting 1 million watts strong across the galactic centers. And here in our meditation garden, we're outside in our natural sanctuary, right? Oh gosh. You know, a lot of work, a lot of love, a lot of sweat was put into bringing this lovingness that you can look around and experience while we're here today. And it's in the major efforts of Dawn Lewis. Many hours, much time. She spent her love into this meditation garden. That was a lot of jungle out there where you're sitting right now and on beyond. Get a chance, walk right through there, look at the Buddha sitting over there, and check out the creek over there. Yeah, get to do that before you leave. So welcome and prepare yourselves for a wonderful outdoor service, an experience that we have sorta designed as an imaginary radio show. Yeah, a radio program with the call letters of
K-Love Radio, KLUV, K-Love Radio.
Yes, bringing you your experience of the morning. I'm Reverend Don Kerr, in case you don't know who I am. And I'll be your host for today. And we're going to have as presenters of information two famous ministers who are steeped in the knowledge and the practice of religious science, the science of mind. And both of them are experienced in directing and serving the senior ministers with the Centers for Spiritual Living. Currently, Reverend Maur, to my left here, to your right, is the senior minister of Woodland Chapel Center for Spiritual Living Center right here in this whole meditation garden, the whole property. He oversees that. That's what I think he does anyhow. Give him a hand. Yes. Thank you. And Reverend Julie. Well, anyhow. I'm sorry. I meant nothing by that, Reverend Julie. You understand that? I just lost my place in the program. The topic of today's message that we're going to be interviewing these two masterminds of religious science is titled, does anybody know that out there?
Naturally divine.
Thank you. Naturally
Right.
divine. Yes, and we're also going to be treated and blessed continually with some wonderful music brought to us by two of our talented and beloved musicians, Blaine Moody and Annie Corley. Yes. So let us begin with a congregational song that can raise and praise us and maybe make you want to dance. If you feel like it, stand up and shake those bones.
Please stand. If it's comfortable and you have a safe place to do that. We're going to get up this morning
Stand.
singing.
Do it. Come on, y'all.
Aren't we, Blaine?
Oh, yeah.
We're singing about God. We're singing about how good God is to me. Yeah.
I got up this morning singing, God is so good. I got up this morning singing, God is so good. I got up this morning singing, God is so good. My God is so good to me. Feeling good down in my soul, God is so good. Feeling good down in my soul, God is so good. Feeling good down in my soul, God is so good. My God is so good to me in my time of trouble. In my time of trouble, feeling God is so good. In my time of trouble, singing God is so good. In my time of trouble, singing God is so good. My God is so good to me. In my time of triumph, in my time of triumph, singing God is so good. In my time of triumph, singing God is so good. In my time of triumph, singing God is so good. My God is so good to me. When my day is over, when my day is over, singing God is so good. When my day is over, singing God is so good. When my day is over, singing God is so good. My God is so good to me. Every day, every way. Well, every day, every way. God is so good. Every day, every way. God is so good. Every day, every way. God is so good. My God is so good to me. I got up singing. I got up this morning singing, God is so good.
We got up this morning.
I got up this morning singing, God is so good.
We did.
We got up this morning singing, God is so
Who's
good.
God?
My God is so good. My God is so good. My God is so good to me.
And welcome.
So let us pray. Take a moment to settle back and settle in. And Cheryl, would you help us with that?
Yes, it's my privilege. This is a little different. It really is like a radio show. If would just take a breath. Just breathe in this beauty that surrounds us. And I invite you to turn within. There it goes. Nature is at work. Turn within, not to shut the world out, but to go deeper into that place that knows the truth. There is one power in this universe so magnificent my human mind can't even describe it in words. Sometimes it comes to me just as a sigh. Yes. And that spirit is here with us and in us and through us and manifesting as us in every moment. And just as this lovely garden reaches for the light, for the sun, our souls reach for the light that is spirit, reaches up and in and through. I know that I am one with that power, and as this is true for me, it is true for each of us. No matter what name we give it, Spirit, love, higher power, Father, God. I know that this service is unfolding perfectly and magnificently with joy and laughter and an abundance of canine energy today. Thank you. Makes me smile. Spirit loves us and is bringing us together to celebrate in this wonderful garden, so lovingly tendered and blessed and enjoyed by so many. I know that this music is uplifting us even as we speak. The words touch our hearts. We are open and lives are changed. I give great thanks for this opportunity to pray with you, to stand with you, to sing with you. And with this joy in my heart, I release my word into the power and the magnificent mystery that is law. And please join me in saying, and so it is. And there is an affirmation somewhere on the floor here. We just have to find it. Thank you, Reverend Dunn. Okay, nice to know that nature's at work here. This affirmation is in your program. I embrace all experience with the belief that all is here for a reason. I believe there is one infinite mind which is consciously guiding our destiny, and so it is.
Thank you, Cheryl. We feel prayed in. Ready to roll. K-Love Radio. So, we have some special music, do we not?
Okay.
That time again?
I think so.
I was feeling kinda down and like nobody really cared. So I crawled under my covers so I could say my prayers. I said, God, if you love me, why don't you show a sign? Fell asleep and this dream came to my mind. I found myself in the great beyond, in a great big house, and the house was God's. He took me by the hand and led me to his kitchen. Taped up to his giant fridge were pictures of me as a kid. Every drawing that I ever did was with him. Well, there's no higher high, no feeling greater than seeing yourself on God's refrigerator. Well, I had no idea that God saw me as his child, or that he was thinking of me so dearly all the while. But there I was up on that door for all the world to see. I was precious to him, and he thought the world of me. There I was in the great beyond, in a great big house, and the house was God's. He took me by the hand and led me to his kitchen. Taped up to his giant fridge were pictures of me as a kid. Every drawing that I ever did was with him. Well, there's no higher high, no feeling greater than seeing yourself on God's refrigerator. Found myself in the great beyond, in a great big house, and the house was God's. She took me by the hand and led me to her kitchen. Taped up to her giant fridge were pictures of me as a kid. Every drawing that I ever did was with her. Well, there's no higher high, no feeling greater than seeing yourself on God's refrigerator. And if you ever find yourself forgotten and blue, well, I saw pictures of you up there too.
You can believe every word that she's singing. Okay, so now let me introduce our two wisdom teaching guests today for our program. First, senior minister of this. Take a look to your right over here, right there. See it going?
What is it?
You see that?
Yeah.
What is that? A B25 or B24? Anybody want to guess? 17. Okay, now we're going to come back to our service. Okay. First, our senior minister of this center, Reverend Maur Horton. Please give him a hand. Thank you. And all the way from Idaho State Holidays comes Reverend Julie Applegate to be here with us. Give a hand for Reverend Julie Applegate. Thank you and welcome, Reverend Maur, Reverend Julie. Let's set up here together where we can kind of talk among each other here. Just a quick thumbnail sketch of your backgrounds. Ladies first here, Reverend Julie, how long have you been serving Woodland Chapel as staff minister, and what is a staff minister?
Well, I don't quite know yet. It's like getting to do all the fun things and following the orders of the senior minister. So, yeah.
How's that working with that, Reverend Maur? For following orders.
We find creative ways.
Him's the boss. So, yeah, we were trying to figure out yesterday when we were talking about this, how long I had been down here. Maur said, 3 years, 4. I think it's probably more like 6.
But then we couldn't figure it out, and then I started to do the math, and I thought, oh, that's really too much. So what happened is Don went to California, and he asked for someone to fill in for him. And so it was so much fun being with you guys. I just didn't go away. And I don't even remember being asked to stay. I just didn't go away. So
she was unanimously asked.
So anyway,
yes, she was asked.
so I've just been here ever since because this is so fun and I love it. And this is an amazing property. And since I retired, I thought, what can I do except be of service wherever I can be of service? And these guys are just too cool. So I think that's it.
Thank you,
Very
Reverend Julie.
deep.
Very deep. Yes.
Very
Okay.
deep.
Well, Reverend Maur, Julie spoke to her position as staff minister for this wonderful
She
for
did
spiritual
indeed.
living, didn't she? You are the senior minister here, and do you remember how long that has been? I can't remember, but I'll let you talk about that.
Okay, well, I started being a minister here way back in 1991, 93, thereabouts, as an assistant minister. Julie.
And you're good at it.
Oh, thank you. And then in 2013, we all decided to affiliate with this brand new organization called the Centers for Spiritual Living. And so when we did that, they also elected me as senior minister. So I've been serving since 2013. I think that's close to, 9 years now as senior minister.
Wow. Yeah,
and
it is
think
close to 9 years.
And I think it's
Yeah.
getting close to 30 years as a minister or something like that. I don't know. It's been a long time. But we've had a wonderful time, a really wonderful time here. Now, Reverend Don did ask, well, what does a senior minister do? I say he keeps busy. He keeps really, really moving along. Our first and most dear thing to my heart is the people in the center and helping the people in the center to grow in their spiritual awareness, to grow in their affiliation with one another, to become friends with other members of our congregation, to simply grow as people and develop as volunteers and develop as leaders here in the center. Yeah. Then I'm responsible to see we have meaningful Sunday messages and good meditations, teaching classes, do prayer work, and just be a minister here at the center. That's kind of what it's about. Kind of running things, organizing things.
That's a good thumbnail sketch.
Yes,
okay.
thank you.
All right. Thank you both. And before we get on with the discussion about today's topic, I got one question for both of you. I know you both are well schooled in religious science, and the founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, many books in his writings. Starting with you, Reverend Maur,
Okay.
would you? Is there any one of Dr. Holmes' books that you recall as really?
It's really hard just to focus on one, but the fundamental book that really introduced me to the philosophy and the theology and the inspiration of love that is Science of Mind, that is our spiritual teaching, is The Science of Mind and Spirit by Dr. Ernest Holmes, published in 1938. Also, I can't stop with one. I really love this,
He's a minister,
this little book called This Thing Called You. Has anybody read that book? Oh, yes. It's marvelous. It's great meditation material. Okay.
Thank you, Reverend
You're
Maur.
welcome.
That's good coverage right there. That could
All
cover
right.
it all, really, but it doesn't, I know. How about you, Reverend Julie? Do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, well, I don't want to be a copycat, but it's the same thing that what we call the textbook. And that was my first book, and a cover, Paul gave it to me for my 39th birthday. And it's so worn, and it's my Bible. And then also this little book called This Thing Called You. If you haven't read it, it's just superb. So of Holmes' writing, those are probably, if I had to pick, two of my favorites too.
We are one again.
We are.
Preach and teach that all the time. Add one. Thank you both. Thank you both. Thank you both. Now, as the topic for us to explore today, it's titled, what is it again? Naturally divine. All right. Okay. So, Reverend Maur, turning to you.
Yes.
The words, naturally divine. What would we be able to expect that to mean for us as we stand here and continue our human journey from this standpoint on?
Oh goodness, naturally divine. Well, we're in nature, right? You see the trees? Perhaps you hear the whispering of the wind at the top of the trees. You might hear the creek running behind us. That's nature, isn't it? And you know, all of nature comes from the one, comes from that infinite oneness that is, we call spirit or energy or the divine or the first cause. We have many names for it, but it all comes from one. So out of this one, all of this appeared, manifested. And so everything here is some manifestation of the divine, including you and me and all of us here. So this naturally happens, that we are one in nature always. And that's really kind of what that means to me. And I think it brings about some unification between our what we think of as spiritual and human, because we're really spiritual beings having a human experience, and as such, we just naturally think in prayer form and in love and in joy with one another. Okay, so, Reverend Don, I think it's important that we ask ourselves a question or two here, an introspective one.
Okay.
What makes us humans behave the way we do? Is it our genes that decide if we'll become a doctor, a lawyer, a movie star, a plumber, a teacher, a street sweeper, whatever? Is it our genes that do this? Are we predestined to a particular life, as some believe, or do we determine our destiny as other believes?
Well, that's quite a question. What do you think about that, Reverend Julie?
Oh gosh, I think a lot about that. Actually, last week, in my message, I talked about the idea of how we're one. That we're not one in the sense that I'm you and you're me, but we're one in the sense that we all emerged from this creative force, and it's in all of us, including all life. And then how do we engage with all life, knowing that it's all in a sense sacred? And you talked about predestination and determination. Well, we do believe that we have free will. I think that that's a really core, although philosophers debate that all the time. But the other thing that I want to say, so that we don't start getting really hard on ourselves, is that we're also, what I learned, the other big influence for me was the Enneagram, which I taught for many years, and I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with the Enneagram. But it showed us that we each come in with different personalities and different core motivations. And so we are free, and yet we have something that determines our way that we're going to, a lens that we view the world. So, yeah, because when we say we have free will and then we get to make all these choices, then we can get really hard on ourselves for not making all the right choices. But we all have a different lens. And I think that lens is so important to contribute to the whole experience of life, to bring in more creative ideas that solve our problems.
Fantastic. I was thinking, what do you believe? I think that really is important, Reverend. What we believe influences how we take what we've been given in our DNA and our personality type or whatever it is, and we create something beautiful out of that. We create ourselves with the power of spirit. I just love that.
Yeah, I like that. Are you guys able to hear us okay while we're talking here?
Yes.
Okay, great. So, what we believe, that's those perspectives you laid out here, you guys. That's kind of a lot for me to unpack. I'm sure that it'll lead us into further inquiry.
Well, Reverend Don, let me put it this way.
Okay.
Quoting from the Science of Mind textbook that we talked about,
Okay.
Dr. Ernest Holmes says, human nature, there is that within every individual which partakes of the nature of the universal wholeness. And insofar as it operates, it is God. That is the meaning of the word Emmanuel, the meaning of the word Christ, God with us. there is that within us which partakes of the nature of the divine being, and since it partakes of the nature of the divine being, we are divine.
Whoa. Did you all get that? Yeah, I think so.
We are all divine.
We are all divine because
We are all some part of this infinite oneness that is divine.
hot dang, he's got it. I agree. That's a pretty powerful way of expressing a belief. I can tell you can believe that too.
I
don't you?
do. Yes, I do. Okay.
All right.
Wow, you know that when we were actually reading this through the other day, I was so struck with that quote, and I know we read it pretty fast. I don't think we know what page that's on, but no one quite says it like Ernest Holmes encapsulates that. Because we partake of that nature, we're divine. Thank you for letting me piggyback on that. I'd like to share what I think our philosophy believes about human nature. And it's a term that is often used to denote the essence of humankind or what it means to be human. Or to put it another way, the fundamental dispositions and psychological characteristics shared by humankind, including the way we think, feel, and act. And you know, yes, we are part of that humankind, and yes, we have certain things that we all partake of and that we all express as human nature. But again, I wanted to go back to that individuality that we come in with. And what I learned from my study of the Enneagram, there were two major influences, Ernest Holmes and religious science and the Enneagram, that transformed my life. The first one told me that I was divine, was naturally divine, that quote. And the second one told me that I was okay being who I was within that.
You know, Reverend Julie, I believe that too. I think we are truly divine. We are basically okay.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah. Because didn't all of us at one time or another think, gee, there's something wrong with me, I'm out of sync? Yeah. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I did. I thought there was something wrong with me. But in that divine, like, okay, how come I'm not getting it right? But that piece that said, yeah, there's a lot of people like me, and I'm okay. So to understand that, yes, we are divine, and we are okay individually, even though we're not like the next person.
Well,
Thank
well,
you.
you guys are coming.
That's what makes us unique, isn't it, Reverend?
Unique is a good word.
Yes.
I am unique. Unique.
Unique.
Let's all say that. I am unique. I am unique.
Indeed you are.
Thank you.
One of a kind.
Okay, where are we at here? We got into some good stuff here. So,
I think that's what we are.
yeah, we're someplace in this thing here. See, so from what I gather,
That's
what
okay,
you both
my
were saying-
pages blew away, so I just get to talk.
the way I'm hearing what you say here, I'll just see if this, I'll repeat this back, see if it resonates. You're saying that if we have a question that is so powerful, like this question to ask ourselves, what is it that we want to demonstrate in our lives, that we want to manifest in our lives, what we really desire, and then get clear for what we believe, and then just put that belief to work for us. Is it that simple? Or
Yes, it is. Definitely that simple. If we believe in our divine nature as a natural, true nature of the infinite that's creating, and that one mind that holds the universe and everything in it, that becomes our recognition of true power that we can use for good. We can make our choices from that perspective.
So the belief in the choices.
Yeah.
What does
For
that take?
good or not so good, right? For
What
good or
now?
not
Good
so
or
good.
not so good.
We're
What?
endowed with free will, and you know what that
Yeah.
means?
Yeah.
We
Free
can
will.
involve in our activities to bring forth something good,
Okay.
or constructive, or not so good, because that all comes out of our free will. And it's really, 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 and we hear this all the time, it is, and
It's biblical, isn't it? It's done unto us as we believe. So within that scope, where we really get that, what can we believe we can achieve? And I see that demonstrated all the time. What we will believe governs what we can achieve.
Well, that's...
Where there is a will, there's a way, and it sounds corny,
Yeah.
but I actually believe that. I've seen it in my own life, and I've seen it in other people's life, and I've seen when we don't believe in something, it acts like brakes. Yeah.
Okay, let's, we can explore that further. I'm not interrupting you, but it's time for station break. And we have...
A station break?
A station break.
You mean like a commercial?
We have to identify what's going on here. With
okay.
Station. What station are we?
K-Love Radio. KLUV. K-Love Radio.
Okay. Oops, wait a minute. It just came in. There's breaking news. Some update. We have in the studio, supposedly coming right now down the aisle, is Shannon Preem, our field correspondent, with an update on some earlier news. Oh, glad you're here, Shannon. Come forth here and use my mic here.
Thank you, Reverend Don. Yes, I have an update for K-Love listeners from an earlier news story. As you may know, there was some estrangement within an elderly couple that's located nearby. The woman shot her husband. I know. The police sergeant couldn't give me any information at the scene, but I was just at the district office, and my confidential informant tells me the station chief was very, very upset at first as to why the sergeant and his men did not immediately go in and arrest the woman who shot her husband. When the chief asked why the wait to go in and handcuff and arrest her immediately, the answer became apparent in the sergeant's report, which read, "We did not immediately rush in to arrest the wife with the smoking gun in her hand because the floor was still wet." I know. When the chief asked what that had to do with anything, the sergeant reported that the woman said that she warned her husband about not walking on her freshly mopped floors one more time.
That'll teach him.
I guess that's why they didn't go in. This is Shannon Preem for K-Love News Planet Earth. Back to our regular programming.
Thank you, Shannon. Thank you. I love your hat, too, Shannon. Yeah, we all know you're coming and going. Warned him one more time. Okay. So getting back to our topic of this gathering. Let's see if I can find out where that topic is. It's over here on page 44. It's called Naturally Divine, of course. Now, I guess I would ask this of you, Reverend Maur. Is there anything or anyone whom or what we would call unnaturally divine? Is there anything that's unnatural and divine? Is everything just simply naturally divine? And why? Can you speak to that at all?
That is a perplexing question in some ways, because that would assume that there's something outside of the oneness. Let me think about that. If everything is one and from the one and an expression of the one, infinite loving presence, then I don't think there could be anything that would be unnatural. The only thing that might qualify for that, in my mind, is if a person is doing something that violates the essential goodness of themselves and other people. If they're doing harm, consciously doing harm, I think that would be unnatural and even bad or evil. What do you think?
I can buy that. I can buy that. I mean, I can accept that. I don't purchase that kind of thing. I just accept it. You understand? It's free.
It's free. Yeah, it's free. Yeah, you don't have to buy it.
So this would be a good time maybe to bring to our attention something about, you talked to me earlier about this foundational information that was, that what we teach.
Right.
If you can expound on that a little bit.
Well, you're thinking about some years ago.
Yeah.
In fact, it was in the year of 1927 when the very first issue of the Science of Mind magazine was published. In that first magazine and in every other monthly edition since then, up to the latest one, you can find printed on a page containing 11 major principles. They're called our Declaration of Principles. Has anybody ever read that page over the years?
Yes.
Yeah, they're really, really powerful statements. Often, says Neil, yes, everything being naturally divine, I would offer a reason why we can consider ourselves naturally divine and why all other expressions of life on this planet are also naturally divine. In fact, I will share this with Reverend Julie, and if she wishes, Reverend Julie, would you want to read the first of those 11 principles? Right at the beginning of the magazine. One or two more pages.
One more page.
One more page. One more page.
Too far.
Are we too far already?
No.
There we are.
Now, what is this?
The first principle, and what is it now?
The first principle. We believe in God, the living Spirit Almighty, one indestructible, absolute, and self-existent cause. This one manifests itself in and through all creation, but is not absorbed by its creation. The manifest universe is the body of God. Ooh, I love that. It is the logical and necessary outcome of the infinite self-knowingness of God.
Wow. When we say and believe that God is all there is, we are expressing from the deepest knowingness of our true self, our spiritual witness, that we're simply naturally divine. It's in our nature to embrace who we really are as spiritual beings, expressing the infinite knowingness, the infinite love, and the infinite joy which is God itself. Our source of all that is, and we just know this truth in our hearts so much, and we just know to say, and so it is.
So it is. Absolutely. Wow. That was, I think, a very powerful, complex weaving of information of why we are naturally divine. Thank you, Reverend Maur.
Oh, very welcome, Reverend Don.
And thank you, Reverend Julie. Thank you, Reverend Julie. Thank you, Reverend Julie. Thank you, Reverend Julie.
You're very welcome. Is there something I didn't do?
Well, you know, our time... Did you want to say something else? Our time's kind of coming around here to an end. Perhaps I want to thank... Well, first off, I want to thank you guys very much for doing this. I hope it didn't put you on the spot. I know that you're...
Some of those questions, Don, I don't know, are tough.
Very deep, right? Very deep.
And we cannot forget to thank you, Reverend Don, for all the work you've done putting this together.
Amen.
And arranging for this to be a
Yes.
pleasant experience for everyone and
you.
something to learn. Thank you, Reverend Don.
Amen. Thank you. Okay. Perhaps we'll do this again sometime. Perhaps we'll have something like what's called Stump the Minister. That would be fun, wouldn't it?
I vote for that.
Yeah, we have some good questions for that. We've heard them before. Okay, so but before we get into a great song, would one of you volunteer to perhaps do an affirmation prayer of closing for us? You have such great ways of doing that. Eeny, meeny, miny, moe.
I would be happy to do that. Let us breathe. Breathe deeply in all this fresh air. Breathe in the oneness of the universe, the goodness of life itself. Sometimes we simply forget. We forget that we are in the presence of the infinite loving joy that is the very central flame of the universe, the central flame of love, that divine impulsion of goodness, that divine gift of life itself. In this awareness, then, We accept what it is we know, that we truly are spiritual beings having this human experience. We're truly human beings expressing spirit so beautifully. And as we accept the challenges of our day, we know that it is all working out according to that perfect divine image of goodness and wholeness and health and abundance and joy and energy, and all that is expresses itself so wonderfully in us and through us and as us. What a beautiful awareness on which to remember that it is all one love, one life, one joy. So we just give thanks. We give thanks from the bottom of our hearts. We give thanks with our whole beingness. And we release and we know that the power of these words reverberates throughout our entire universe and comes back to us multiplied many times over with the bountiful abundance of the infinite supply which God is. As we know this, let us affirm it firmly. And as we hear our friends flying overhead, we are remembering that the infinite love of God extends right here from the core of the earth to the infinite of the heavens and all the galaxies and the stars. And so as we know this, let us proclaim and declare together, and so it is.
Blaine and Annie coming up.
So I don't know if that I don't know if the program got changed or not, but I thought this song would be more appropriate for the topic of natural. Everything is holy now.
Oh. Can we sing along?
Sing along, sing along.
When I was a child each week, Sunday we would go to church, pay attention to the priest. He would read the holy word, consecrate the holy bread. Everyone would kneel and bow. Today the only difference is everything's holy now. Everything is holy now. And when I went to Sunday school, we would learn about the time Moses split the sea in two, and Jesus made the water wine. I remember feeling sad. Miracles don't happen still, but now I can't keep track. Everything's a miracle. Everything's a miracle. Wine from water is not so small. An even better magic trick. Is there anything here at all? And so the challenging thing that's done is not to look for miracles, but finding where there isn't one. When holy water was rare at best, I barely wet my fingertips, but now I gotta hold my breath. I'm swimming in a sea of it. I was living in a world half here, heaven's second-rate hand-me-downs, but now I'm walking with a reverent air, 'cause everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. Everything is holy now.
Just holy.
Everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. Everything is holy now.
It's holy.
Everything is holy now.
Holy, holy.
Everything is holy now. And read a questioning child's face. Say it's not a testament. It's really very hard to say. See another new morning's dawn and say it's not a sacrament. I'm telling you it can't be done. This morning outside I stood, I saw a little red wing bird shining like a burning bush, singing like a scripture verse. It made me want to bow my head. I remember when church let out, how things have changed since then. Everything's holy now. Pray with me. Everything is holy now. 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 Let's stand and sing it. Everything is holy now. 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 It's holy. Everything is holy now. Everything is holy. Everything is holy now. Holy now. Everything is 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 holy now. Yeah.
Beautiful singing, awesome, and dancing.
Hallelujah now. Oh, that was so good. If that isn't consciousness raising, there ain't nothing consciousness raising. Oh, gosh. So we all take a deep breath on that. We accept that as the truth. And know that this is a very special time coming up in a service.
Speak into the microphone.
As we know, as most of us know, most radio stations and television stations have sponsors. We have to listen to their commercials to get the programs paid for by companies with something to sell us. However, there's a few select what are called public radio television broadcasting, where the financial support comes from those who listen or watch and benefit from the broadcasting. So you get where I'm going here with this. You know, we know in a way religious churches and spiritual living centers such as we are here at Woodland Chapel, we operate on the same wavelength as that premise. We depend on you who come be a part of our community, our spiritual community, our family community. And as you're here today, and we appreciate your showing your appreciation for what we offer you in our love, and what we expressed to you for spiritual living and loving and sharing that life and that love with your world too. So as the offering angels come forth to come your way, we will have two of them coming this way, and we gather our offering plates here. Let us take our offering in our hands, or if you've already given in some way, some people do that in a monthly way, just hold your hand to your heart then. And then say these words that are in your program. They're right there, starting with divine. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate, and so it is.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so
blessed.
I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed.
So blessed.
I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so
Oh, the blessing of the universe. It comes to us so naturally, so easily, with so much force that sometimes we don't even recognize it. It's just always present, this abundance, this energy, this life, this love that lives in us. Always expresses itself through us, and it gives so generously to support these wonderful truths, these principles that we've discussed and talked about and been interviewed about this morning. So let us release all the goodness in our hearts and let it flood into the universe as we accept these gifts and bring them to the support of our community, ourselves, and all whom we love. As we know this, let us say together, and so it is.
I ditto that.
Okay, so we're going to do our prayer protection. This is another special time where we utter an affirmation that's very powerful. We call it the prayer of protection. It's in your program. So let's read that out together, shall we? Starting with the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Let's stand and sing together our peace song. The words also in the program. walk always in the power of the one, in joy, energy, and love. For that's the truth of who you are and who we all are. Amen.
I got up this morning singing, God is so good. I got up this morning singing, God is so good. I got up this morning singing, God is so good. My God is so good to me. Feeling good down in my, feeling good down in my soul. God is so good. Feeling good down in my soul. God is so good. Feeling good down in my soul. God is so good. My God is so good to me.
When my day is over,
When my day is over, singing, God is so good. When my day is over, singing, God is so good. When my day is over, singing, God is so good. My God is so good to me.
every day, every way. Every day, every way.
God is so good. Every day, every way. God is so good. Every day and every way. God is so good. My God is so good to me.
I got up this morning, one more time.
I got up this morning singing, God is so good. I got up this morning singing, God is so good. I got up this morning singing, God is so good. My God is so
Good,
my God is so
good.
my God is so good to me.
Try to get away from the speakers.